Hey everybody, welcome back to Word Balloon, the comic book conversation show. John Suntress here, kind of a different show today. I got 3 guests on the show. If you're aware of the Oh Yeah podcast, another podcast that's on the Word Balloon network, it's all my co-contributors to that podcast, Art Baltazar Franco and Scoot McMahon, 3 amazing cartoonists that do great work in Oh Yeah Comics. You know Art and Franco's work as well from such DC books as Superman Family Adventures and Tiny Titans and a lot of other projects coming, the Green Team in the past. Scoot has just been doing a great book for Action Labs with Dave Scheidt. It's called Wrapped Up, and it's a horror family living in Egypt, and it's a mummy kid, and there are werewolves and vampires, and it's a very, very funny story, and Scoot is the wonderful cartoonist for that. Dave is the artist, or rather, Dave is the writer. Today, it's the 4 of us talking about the Justice League movie. The good news is we all have varied opinions on the movie and various degrees of liking the movie and not liking the movie. So it's a fun conversation. Obviously, spoilers if you haven't seen the movie yet. I'm the kind of guy that I never release it like right after a movie where I'll have like a podcast review, because I think most people, as much as Rabbit fans will go that first weekend, maybe, life gets in the way. You're not able to see something right away. I did actually watch Justice League the Monday after it came out. I believe Scoot and Franco and Artie all saw it that first weekend, which is a surprise because usually we wait for Artie to watch the movie because he's got kids and he's got things that are keeping him from going immediately to the movies. But nothing was going to keep Artie, Franco, Scoot, or myself from those first couple days of Justice League. So it was just now a matter of getting together to do the podcast, which we did last week, and wanted to present it to you. And again, kind of give it enough time for people to, see it for the first couple of weekends. I think by now the majority of people have seen it. And, interesting movie. I'm always fascinated when movies are started by one filmmaker and finished by another. And I always lean on the example of the film AI that, was a Stanley Kubrick concept that Steven Spielberg brought to light. And you can totally see the difference in the filmmakers, I think, in various scenes. I think Justice League was very much like that. So it's a fun conversation, and I hope that you enjoy it as we play it for you here, the Justice League movie review on today's Word Balloon. As always, Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon listeners. Thank you, League, for your support. It always means a lot each month. The subscribers to Word Balloon who keep the lights on, keep me able to upgrade this equipment, and, are as much responsible for what you're hearing each week as what I put out myself in doing the podcast. So thank you for those contributions, League of Word Balloon listeners. A couple new people even this week. If you would like to subscribe to Word Balloon, you can do that via Patreon at patreon.com/wordballoon, and or you can go to wordballoon.com, click on the Patreon ad, and that will take you to my Patreon page. But thank you very much for your support, League of Word Balloon listeners. Word Balloon is also brought to you by In Stock Trades. At InStockTrades.com, there are some amazing sales going on right now at In Stock Trades. You can get select Dark Horse books up to 70% off. There are Black Friday sales. I'm not sure if those are still going on or not. They're still on the website, but consult In Stock Trades on that. Up to 70% on select Marvel omnibuses. 50 to 90% on some mostly out-of-print titles, up to 70% off on select DC books, up to 50% off Marvel Masterworks. Just some of the great savings. Plus, these specific items. How about Jessica Jones, The Secrets of Maria Hill? This is the second trade paperback that Mike Gaydos and Brian Bendis have done in the new Jessica Jones series. Just as great as Alias was. I am so glad that the guys got back together, especially with Brian heading to DC, that we got one more last go-around on Jessica Jones. I think that's great. But that book is 50% off. It's just $8.99 at In Stock Trades. You can get the third volume of Injection. That's Warren Ellis, Declan Shalvey, Jody Blair on colors, but it's been an amazing series. 45% off. $9.34. You can get Ghost Fleet from Image, the whole goddamn thing. A great Donny Cates, Daniel Warren Johnson collection. And this is the whole series, I believe, 1 through 8. 65% off? 45% off. Man, my glasses suck. $10.99 at InStockTrades.com. Just the tip of the iceberg. We're talking Justice League. There's tons of Justice League product at In-Stock Trades at amazing prices. Come check for yourself. You're going to find great books at great prices at InStockTrades.com. All right, without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, this is just the movie review portion of the Oh Yeah podcast with Art and Franco. It goes on for another hour, but I wanted to focus just on our Justice League talk. So you're slightly catching us in mid-conversation. It's Art Baltazar Franco, Scoot McMahon, and myself talking about Justice League on today's Word Balloon. We're talking about Justice League.
Oh, yeah. Did you see it, Johnny?
Did you start talking about it yet?
Not at all.
Not yet.
No, we were waiting for you guys. There we go.
I saw it.
Me too. Scoot?
I did, too.
Wow.
Art, you saw it?
I did. I saw it on that Saturday.
Wow.
Opening weekend.
Usually we have to wait 3 or 4 months for you to see it, and then we talk about it.
No, we were all home, and we had I bought the tickets on Friday, so I didn't think I was going to get good seats, but I bought them kind of last minute, and everyone went, except for my girl. She didn't care.
Okay.
She goes, if we all go, I'll go, but if Mommy doesn't go, I'll stay home. She said. I'm like, all right, well, it's just the boys. She didn't care. She says, I'll wait to watch it on our TV. So she said. But yeah, we went.
So should we start with just let's give it a letter grade, A, B, C, D.
Spoilers.
Yeah, of course. Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to go a letter grade.
Or do you want to do stars? What do you want to do, bud?
W.
W.
W grade.
I want to rate it by hectares, if I may, which is actually a unit of measurement rather than Anyway,
I loved it. I loved it so dearly, tenderly.
All right, so 5 stars to 1 star. 5 stars already?
Yeah, I'll go with 5. Enjoyment factor 5. Movie making quality, I'll go 5. Well, 4 because of the digital guy. But yeah, man, I
didn't know we were going to get this involved with it.
Oh,
we were going to discuss the movie.
Oh, no, we're fine-tooth comb, sir. We're going all over this movie today.
I was in there with my action figures and my superpowers toys. That's what I would. It was good. I just loved it so much. And there was things like I wish that they rose Superman from the dead using, like I wish the bad guy rose him up from the dead or like his robots did.
Okay.
Or something.
Well, let's get.
And I was wishing.
Hold on. Well, no, go ahead because you're on a roll.
But I was wishing too that, like, when Flash and Cyborg found the body, or found his grave. Spoilers. I wish it was empty. That would have been cool.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
I agree with that, and I was expecting that as well.
Then they wouldn't have resurrected him. That would have been weird.
Somebody else would have.
Darkseid could have.
Like, it would have been cool if the robots went and got him.
Like in the comics.
But stuff like that, like, I accept it because movie has to.
I reject it.
Has to speed along, I guess.
It's a different universe.
Sure it is.
So
right.
Sure it is.
So it didn't bother me, but I wish that happened. But I was very happy with the way Superman was angry and beat them all up, and then he became Superman. He saw Lois and saw his mom.
I got to talk about my
touched the
favorite
wheat and
scene.
stuff.
Well, let's get
my favorite
hold on.
scene.
That was my favorite
Can we go around the horn and get?
Why I oughta?
Can we just get a letter first, like get ratings, and then get into the minutia? Because there's a lot to talk about. So let's just
Johnny,
introduce
you
it
must
with
have been
that.
raised in radio or something because you're all like technical and stuff.
I'm going with an A.
Yeah, there's a lot to. All right, so A, 5 stars.
I'm going with a low A, like A minus.
All right, so that's fine.
A minus, B plus area.
4.5 stars.
Yeah, 4.75 stars.
There you go. What do you got, Francis?
Yeah,
I'm going to go 4.5 stars, 4 stars, 4.5 stars, and a W letter grade.
I don't
I don't know
a W, but I like it. Scooty?
Yeah.
for wow.
I'm going to go 3 stars, but give it an S for hope.
Ooh, I like that.
It curves and comes back.
Yeah.
I'm giving it 2.5 stars for a film on its own. As far as getting to the next movie, I'll give it 3 stars out of 5. A C. Mm-hmm. And I'd say a C minus as far as the film itself. And, really it's disappointing and we'll get into it, that this is the 4th film of this continuity. Not including the Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
It's the first film of the continuity. It's Justice League.
No. That started with Man
the
of
other
Steel.
ones weren't named Justice League.
Well, let me finish. That started with Man of Steel. Then we had Batman v Superman, and we had Suicide Squad, and the 5th movie because we had Wonder Woman as well.
Yeah.
And now this one. And moved it on in terms of getting to the next Justice League movie. But I think as far as execution as a film standing on its own merit, it was very disappointing to me. And we'll get into it now with the other stuff. Yeah.
I'll say that I'm more excited for the next Justice League movie if they make it than I was for this one. But part of that is because Superman's back and he's Superman. Yeah. And going into this one, I'm like, how much is Superman going to be in it? You know?
Yeah. So did you guys, and obviously you guys liked it more than I did you think that do you think Whedon did a good job of taking what Zack Snyder left? And that's my next question, and let's go around the horn and making a better movie out of it as far as the standing on its own 2 feet, starting with Snyder and ending with Whedon.
I guess he did, but I wasn't looking for those scenes. You know, I didn't seem to notice any breaks.
Any difference?
Okay. No, it didn't feel like two guys directed it. I just really enjoyed this movie. It was just really, really good. It's like what you want a superhero movie to be. It was just really good. I don't like when I read all these bad reviews. I'm like, what are these people watching? And I didn't really see any. I didn't notice anything between any of that. Anything that who could have directed what. I don't know. It was just good. Loved it.
What did you like about this movie that you didn't like about the other ones? Was it Superman?
Well, the first. Yeah, Superman was perfect. Man of Steel, I liked it all except for those 2 scenes.
Killing Zod.
Batman versus Superman. I watched that several times. Within the last 2 weeks, I saw it like 3 times.
Sure, it's on HBO a lot right now.
Yeah, and that movie, once you watch it without waiting for stuff or analyzing it, once they start fighting, the movie's perfect. I love it to the end with Doomsday and Superman fights Doomsday and all of that stuff is awesome. But Batman versus Superman is boring. The first hour is boring, or the first 40 minutes, whatever it is.
Sure.
But all the Batman scenes are cool and all of the superhero scenes are cool. So when you watch all that, I really enjoy that. And then I tried Suicide Squad again, and that movie still confuses me after the first 40 minutes. But then this movie, there was nothing to remember from the other shows. There was nothing to explain to your kids. There was no yawning. There was no bathroom breaks. There was no questions by the kids. And so this was the perfect movie to bring. You don't have to see any of these other movies.
That's
you just
true.
Bring the kids. You just show them. And, man, my guys had a real good time with that. And my son looked at me and goes, that was good. I'm like, I know, wasn't it? And when my wife asked me what you think in the movie, I said, I'm so glad that movie's in my life. I'm so glad that movie exists, because we watched Wonder Woman the day before.
Okay.
And that one, I think it got overhyped for me. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was better than any of the other ones. I don't think it, as far as it was good. It was a standalone movie, but once she fought the bad guy when he was all CGI, it felt like two different plots or something, and that messed it up. But that CGI guy in the end of Wonder Woman prepared me for the CGI guy in Justice League, so it looked like the same universe.
Well, and there's a CGI woman or wasn't it a woman in Suicide Squad? The bad person.
Yeah, that one's a little crazy.
I'll be honest. I think all 3 are very disappointing villains. I think it's really boring, the CGI villain solution. They're very one-dimensional. Throw Doomsday in there for that matter as well. And in the case of Doomsday, you expect it because he is kind of
he's real big.
Yeah, he's just a brainless kind of force rather than a conniving villain. But literally, Wonder Woman CGI villain, Suicide Squad, and Steppenwolf, massive disappointments, no nuance whatsoever, and really freaking boring. I was going to swear, but I'll try and keep it clean for the rest of the show. But it is, and it's really, I personally see the difference. And sometimes I think that's really interesting. Like a movie like AI, the movie that started with Stanley Kubrick and Spielberg ended up doing it, you could kind of see the Kubrick influence and the Spielberg influence. And in this one, I just didn't think the movies meshed. And I felt like Joss Whedon oversimplified a lot, and the more that comes out, not only obviously was there more Zack Snyder footage, but apparently there was also more Whedon footage as well, and the studio kind of made the decision, no, keep it, shorten it up. And I think everything was oversimplified. My analogy is Joss Whedon was like a busboy coming to a restaurant table that was a mess, and he cleaned it up, and it's fine for the next meal and the next party that sits down. So Justice League 3 will be fine. So from that standpoint, yeah, he fixed everything, but he was given a mess, and I would say that, I see a couple spots that he might have missed with the cloth. He left a few gravy stains on the table, and, I just didn't, and enough with the analogy. I saw this.
We know how you feel about dinner, so you're wrong.
No, but, I like the scene at the beginning where the kids are podcasting and they ask Superman questions.
Was cool.
That's obviously a Whedon scene. My favorite.
All the Superman stuff was Whedon scenes where his mouth was weird. That was all Whedon stuff.
Right.
Because that was all reshot later.
Right. That didn't.
See, no, that's one of the things I didn't see.
I agree.
Didn't see the weird lip.
Yeah.
Were you guys blind or what?
I really didn't see it either, dude.
No, I really didn't see it. I saw it when people would put it up online and would
I noticed
focus on it and blow it up. But I'm like, I don't see what they're talking about.
Yeah, it didn't take me out of the movie at all. It didn't bother me. And
it bothered me.
What I really wanted in the movie was, before I even saw it, because I went 2 days after it was already released, and I heard all the negative reviews, and I'm thinking, all I want in this movie is bad guy wants to take over the world, and the good guys have to stop him, and the good guys' characters have to be on. They have to be in character. It's kind of like watching the first X-Men movie.
Sure.
You don't really remember the story, but Magneto wants to take over the world, and X-Men have to be right on. Like, their characters were perfect in that first X-Men movie, and that's what this one had to be. And there's two big moments in the movie when Flash said, "I've never done this before, what do I do?" Because he's never been Flash. He don't even have a name yet. And Batman tells him, "Save somebody."
Wait a minute.
And he goes, "Then what?"
No, that's.
And then he goes,
"Go on."
You just save one person. And then he says, "Then what do I do?" He's then what you do. What comes next, or whatever he said.
Well,
and that moment was so good. Like, Batman trained him without even Flash knowing that. He just got trained by Batman, and that was awesome. And then the next scene with Flash is when he's running to get Superman, and Superman sees him with his eyeball. He just moves his eye.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
my favorite part.
That was a great scene.
Good.
But I would say
so good.
that he was already the Flash in Suicide Squad, which chronologically is before this movie.
Oh yeah,
So there's that, and I really didn't like.
Wait, when is he the Flash in Suicide Squad?
He shows up for
Captain Boomerang.
He fights Captain Boomerang.
He captures Captain Boomerang and he waves. Yeah, and
Where's that scene?
It's in the movie.
It's in the movie.
It's in there real fast.
It's in there. I swear to God.
And maybe he once again he stops him from throwing anything.
Which is right.
No, I'm serious. Where is I?
It's
totally
at the beginning of the
missed
movie when they're
it's in
introducing
there,
all the villains. Honestly,
the first 40 minutes of Suicide Squad is great, and then just don't watch anymore. After they all assemble,
you're right.
Just turn it off.
No, I agree. But yeah, it's kind of
Or
like
you
when
could watch it. But
it's like when Amanda Waller's going through the dossiers of everybody, and they show Captain Boomerang committing a crime, and it gets stopped, and he looks down the alley to see who it is, and it's the Flash, and he waves at him.
Yeah. He's not in a big.
No, that's
he's in the background almost.
Yeah, that's it.
But you see the lightning.
But again,
and stuff,
and that's what I was going to say. I would accept Artie's description and say that would be valid if Batman trained Barry Allen. But
he did.
He was already the Flash. Well, hold on. I heard what you said. Hold on. Well, no, honestly, I understand what you were saying. But I would say he was already a hero. He claims that he's not a hero. All he does is push people out of the way. And I don't know, man. I guess I got spoiled by 4 seasons of Grant, whatever the hell his name is, as the Flash.
Grant Gustin.
Yeah. And I like that Flash a lot. I mean, and I know this guy's a good actor too. I just don't like the way Flash is written. I thought they were trying way too hard with the comic relief, and again, I didn't like that he was scared. I mean, I don't mind that he's like, "Whoa, I feel like I'm kind of out of my league here." They also tried way too hard.
See, I like that. I thought it was a totally different Flash.
They also tried way hard.
Yeah,
if I could really fast finish, they also tried way hard to compare this to Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War. Please go on.
Who's Tom Holland?
Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Yeah. I think they were trying too hard to make the same scene that Civil War had.
Oh, I see.
But that's me.
Maybe. I do feel a little bit like they're playing catch up, like the Just or GC.
Yep.
But I don't feel it forced on me though.
I did.
I'm feeling like finally this is happening. But it does feel a little catch up, like they got to hurry up and get to the next thing. But I still really liked it.
That's
and like
cool.
Flash, I like him better. I think his personality is better than the guy in the TV show. The guy in the TV show.
I wouldn't go that far. I thought that I was really nervous about Flash as a character coming into this movie, just because of everything I had seen in the trailers and what was written. But I came away liking him a lot more than when I went in, because, and you have to separate it because it's a totally different universe than the TV show.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he didn't know anything, I'm glad I missed that scene where he captured Boomerang in Suicide Squad, because then I came in even better on this, not knowing that he did that, he just pushes people out of the way or whatever, and this was, he was way in over his head. He fought people on the street. He fights people like Boomerang.
Sure.
Coming into this, he has no idea what's going on. There's Amazons and Atlanteans and this big CGI guy dude, and he has no idea what to do. And that's awesome, because Batman is way out of his element, even more so than the Flash. But he takes him by the hand and says, "Just save one guy."
Yeah.
I like that moment too.
And then you'll know what to do. And my most favorite scene was when Superman caught him running around the side. His eyeball moved. And I'm, fuck. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Damn.
And even when Superman...
that was my favorite scene, too.
And I love it when Superman
every time
grabbed
Wonder
Batman.
Woman smiled. And every time Wonder Woman smiled, I liked. Yeah.
Yeah. Or when Superman grabbed Batman and said, "Do you bleed?" Oh, I was like, yes, get him.
I hated that line in Batman Superman.
Yeah.
But I loved it in this one just because it was in Batman Superman.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. And I love that when he says, "You killed me, but you can't even let me die," or whatever, something like that. You can't let me die in peace, or whatever he said. I only saw it one time, but
and I
man,
love when Superman and Cyborg were laughing, like when he said, "I wish I was dead."
Oh,
that was kind of out of character, but funny.
Yeah, I liked it. Man, I liked it a lot. It was like Super Friends.
I felt Cyborg was kind of short-shrifted too, and I would have liked more explanation and exploration about the Mother Box technology being part of his armor, how he's dealing with it. And again, it sounds like that kind of footage did exist, but a choice was made again to... I really thought just everything was too short. I thought Superman's resurrection was way too short. Yeah. And his turn from wanting to beat the hell out of everybody to, there's Lois. Okay, now I'm okay. I'm like, sorry, man. I think that was a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah,
I do agree with you. I do agree with you about Cyborg and his integration with the Mother Box and all that stuff. Could have used a little bit more. But I'll tell you another thing. Just as I was scared about Flash coming into this movie, I was way scared about Cyborg. Why are they trying to pigeonhole him into this movie? I know that in the comics they want him in the Justice League, and I'm like, to me he's always a Teen Titan guy, so I'll always have that bias. But he came away in this movie, or I came away from this movie, convinced that Cyborg could be in the Justice League.
He was a great Cyborg. I completely agree.
Yeah, he was part Kryptonian and part Mother Box technology. Yeah, I liked
that
him.
part. Yeah.
And I liked that he was more like a Frankenstein character. Like he was a victim from his father's experiments. And I know the Cyborg movie will explore that more. And I know a lot of reviews are saying, "Oh, he's a MacGuffin" and all this stuff. But I didn't come away with that. I thought he was a really cool character, and I forget what happened to his dad. I don't know if he died or got captured. I can't remember what happened to his dad. Because I know there was a parademon in his house.
He was building his suit at the end, and his dad was standing there, and he was like rebuilding.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah,
but that's
the thing I liked about this movie.
That's another example, guys, in terms of where I think the film, standing on its own merits, I think they rushed too much, and again, it was just kind of herky-jerky and just, okay, Superman's back, let's move along. And
see, this is where I disagree with you, Johnny.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I disagree with you because I was just going to say, as a standalone movie, being a comic guy, I liked everything in there.
Yeah.
Building up story-wise, it made the last couple of movies, Man of Steel and Batman Superman, better for me.
Yeah, me too.
Watched this one because it extends the storyline. So if you watch them all together, to me, it makes a better storyline.
Right.
I know that movies aren't supposed to be that way, but with this movie, standing alone, having someone coming into this movie, and I always have my wife as a guide for this because she knows nothing about superheroes, doesn't read comics. She went to this movie and said, I really like this movie.
Well, that's cool.
She understood it as a standalone story, knowing that Superman was dead, coming in and explaining the whole thing, and over the arc of the movie, she got it and liked it. So
yeah, I agree. It made me want to watch Man of Steel again and finally show. Well, once I get this on DVD, we'll have a marathon in my house because I don't want to show him.
That's a long.
I don't want to show Man of Steel. Well, yeah, we're going to do it though. We've done it with Star Wars. We've done it with Back to the Future and the Ape movies. But we're going to do it, and I want to watch. I want to watch Man of Steel, knowing that this movie exists. That it fixes Superman. I wish it happened in the first one, but I had a debate over the weekend with people because at the Zirco Con because there's nothing to do but talk to people. So a lot of people explained to me like, well, in Man of Steel, he wasn't Superman yet. And I'm thinking, you're right. He has still had to learn. I mean, I accept that now. And then in Batman versus Superman, he was still learning, but he knew right from wrong. And now finally, he knows that he's so powerful. And
now he wants to be Superman.
Yeah, and I love that when he punched Steppenwolf, when he says, I stand for truth and justice, bam, and he knocked the guy.
For me, it's the scene right after that where he goes in and says, what do you need me to do? And then they start talking to him, and he turns and he goes, there's people in trouble.
Yeah.
And he leaves, and that to me was Superman.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was Superman.
Sure. And what I like too is I don't know if I liked it, but I noticed that probably everyone noticed that they took the fight away from any controversial of knocking buildings and killing people.
Yes,
that's
and they only focused on the one family, which was kind of weird. But I was waiting for something to happen to that family,
right?
Like but nothing really did.
No,
they just
it was weird.
They used it as like an ordinary device that you can relate to them.
Yeah, what's happening in how their powers are being.
It wasn't necessary.
But the best part of the payoff to that whole scene was when Flash pushed a truck and then he looked over and Superman's carrying a whole apartment building.
Yeah, that was fun.
I thought that was cool, man. That was just so good.
Once Superman was Superman, and I'll even say I think Act 3 for the most part worked. What didn't work for me were Acts 1 and 2. And also, the whole movie to me, and Scoot and I were talking about this past weekend. We cheated on you. But we...
oh, man.
But we... I agree with him. It felt like a 90s movie. Right, Scoot?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Because the Marvel movies have gotten, like... In some of these other movies, like the CGI with Steppenwolf was really bad, and there's no excuse like why that could just be so bad. And then there were like other things that didn't make sense, like at the end of Man of Steel. Why does that dirt rise up off of his casket? Is he coming alive, or like what's going on? Like that's why I think Art, you were onto something. I think they were going to do a different origin for how he came back to life. So you almost, if you watch them all together, you got to stop the movie before that part because that part. Like raises still bothers me. Like what was going on? How are they going to come back? Was robots coming to get him?
What about?
Well, they'll explain that away by saying that they were going to do excavation and building a new mausoleum in that cemetery, and that was just the tractors that they were rolling in.
Yeah, nice try. Also, what about Flash's crisis appearance to Bruce? Where that unless that's going to be played off in the next movie or when they finally do get to Darkseid. No, clearly
but that could be,
a different
that could
story.
Be explained away because he was asleep, Johnny.
I'm sorry?
That could be explained away because he was asleep.
Well, all of his dreams, I think, were a little too revealing to just be, man, I ate too many burritos tonight. And
no, I agree with
weird
you.
Dreams.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying is that they can use that as an out. Any time that he was asleep.
But again,
I agree with you.
It's a little disappointing given how much effort was put in by Snyder for setup. And again, I get it. The powers that be did not like the rough cut that Snyder showed them as far as how far the movie was done. But all that said, I don't know if there were, because it's just like Age of Ultron with Whedon, where they cut 45 minutes of it. It's not.
Did they really?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And
he was pissed about that too.
And that's one of the reasons why he stopped making movies with Marvel, for that very reason.
Wow.
But that's the thing, man. I just think that they started with a very different story. And yeah, I mean, Whedon provided shortcuts and solutions, but I think he cut too much, and it just, went from point A to point B to point C without any real tie. And just like Scoot said, there's going to be telltale signs if you do watch all the movies and go, well, how come they never touch that again? But again, who knows? Maybe they'll throw it in Justice League 3 or in 4. I don't know.
Flashpoint.
Yeah,
I know what I was going to say. Like Cyborg, and I don't like. He was fine. I didn't really care too much about him in the movie because I wanted more of his backstory. And I was a comic fan. I knew it, so it didn't bother me as much. But what I feel like was a missed opportunity with him wouldn't have been cool if he was the mother box. Like there wasn't like the human mother box, the man one that they had. What if that was him because it made him and it was like part of him and they were after Cyborg? That would have been cool.
Well, let me ask you
he was the mother box.
Let me ask you. You just said that you just kind of threw out that line about you knew his backstory, so you wanted to know more about the movie Cyborg.
Yeah.
But coming in as someone who doesn't know that backstory,
right.
I think they explained what he was and how he came to be just fine.
Yeah,
they did, but I didn't care
all the
about,
backstory you needed
about him though. Like there was never I never felt bad for him because I didn't see him as a normal.
Oh, I felt bad for him. Yeah, and if he was screaming in that last movie. He was screaming and his dad was
Superman.
Trying to
Yeah. When they yeah. Well,
man, I really like this movie a lot. Like all these points, okay, but I really like
that's
it.
That's fine. Yeah.
And what the part I'm most excited about too is the after scene with Lex and Deathstroke. Like Lex is so much cooler now on the boat with the tie. It's a little bit
yes.
It's a little bit like Kevin Spacey. But also, like they tied in Kevin Spacey to him a little bit. Like they're kind of like
being
when
on the yacht, having the suit and everything.
They're distancing away from that real fast, though.
Yeah, but I like that part. Like they acknowledge that. But yeah, I know. But they acknowledge that Luthor exists. And so if that's the Luthor we're gonna get in the next Man of Steel movie, Man of Steel 2, which I hope they just call Superman, and that would be awesome. That we have that Lex. And the Superman that we left off with this movie, like in the next movie, Superman versus Lex is going to be great.
Well, I hope you're right.
See, I wasn't that upset with Lex's portrayal in the last movie.
Oh, I was.
No, I liked him too.
I think, just like you said, the evolution of Superman over the movies, this is the evolution of Lex as well.
Lex Luthor in Batman versus Superman is a Batman 1966 villain. He is one-dimensional. He is over-the-top silly, and you can even excuse it to a degree that Darkseid's influence is what's making him crazy. But what I wanted to see, and forgive me because it's from the comics, but I think it would work for a movie audience, and I think, honestly, this is what Jeff Johns was trying to do, is a very calm, sane bad guy that wanted to be Earth's savior and be the Steve Jobs, for very selfish reasons, of the DC universe, and was all set to do that when this alien showed up and is just purely saving people and being so good that he is stealing his thunder. And I think that you can understand his hatred of Superman for those reasons. I think you can make an argument to Bruce Wayne and say, Bruce, how can we trust this alien? What do we know about him? The way that Azzarello did in the Man of Steel or the Lex Luthor miniseries, and he has that lunch with Luthor. It's one of the best Luthor-Bruce Wayne conversations ever, and that's what's missing. And I hope that you guys are right. The fact that he's in a suit, and I told Scoot this. I noticed that it was a pinstripe suit, and I'm like, he looks kind of like Louis the Lilac when Milton Berle used to be on Batman. So I hope you're right, and I hope it's a much calmer and more cunning Professor Moriarty sort of Luthor, because that's the kind of villain that rubs up interestingly against Superman. Not a guy that's cackling and holding Martha, torturing Martha and crap like that.
I do think that the scene between Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne was missing from that other movie, Batman vs. Superman.
I was expecting
it. Definitely was, and especially when they were fighting over the kryptonite. And Batman got it somehow. I forget how he got it. And I saw it so much, but I still forget how he got it.
The White Portuguese.
But
that's the name of the boat.
Oh yeah, but it would have been cool to see that little meeting between Bruce and Lex, but I think they're on the right track now with Lex, and I loved Lex at the end of Batman vs Superman in the jail with the orange suit. I just like it. Now more and more I watch that movie, I like it more. I never had a problem at first.
I was very disappointed that it wasn't revealed that Wonder Woman's mother wasn't named Martha in this movie.
Oh yeah, but the scenes like
Wonder Woman was great, by the way, in the movie. She was excellent. Yeah, everything they did.
I love the Wonder Woman movie until she left the island. I love all Themyscira and fighting the Nazis or all those guys.
I liked all of it.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I enjoy it all, but the best part was that, and that's that. In this movie, when they showed the flashback of the Amazons and the Green Lantern guys and the magic users fighting Steppenwolf, man, that was so cool. That was a giant
and the Green Lantern cameo.
Yeah, that was a giant moment in comic fans' history. Just looking at that, like, wow, that blew me away. If that was the movie, that 10 minutes, I would have been satisfied.
I am satisfied.
I am satisfied. Yeah, I just love it, man. I want it, and even my son said, "Can we go get the DVD?" And I said, "Well, it probably won't be out for another 5-6 months."
Probably 4 months. I mean, the turnaround's a lot faster these days. It's shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, God, Spider-Man and Wonder Woman were in July, and it's the end of November. And if they're not out, they're almost they are on, aren't they? Both.
Yeah,
out?
I have them stacked up. I have like 6 or 7 DVDs stacked up on my table. I need to watch them.
4 months. Crazy.
I love it. I really don't understand why so many people hate this movie.
Well, like I said, and then, again, going back to us saying that it's more like a 90s movie, I'm sorry, man. I get it, and the people that are satisfied with this movie, that's awesome. But I'm really kind of like, all right, guys, everyone is paying attention now. Comic books, superhero movies are at a real great part of the culture where it's accepted, and I think it's been around long enough. Let's say this modern era, even because you could say, well, first of all, it was Blade back in '98, but I would say it starts really with the first Iron Man movie, because I think there's a big shift from the Sam Raimi movies and Blade and that stuff that happened in the late '90s, the early Daredevil movie. Stuff like that. Everything that happened pre-Marvel films. And again, starting with...
I think it was the first Spider-Man and then the first X-Men.
All that stuff, really absolutely. That's part of that wave as well.
You could make a movie.
But I think 2008 is where the modern superhero... the current vibe of superhero movies have started. And I want us moving forward. And I while I think this is an improvement from the last couple DC movies, and again, I think Whedon cleaned the table to move forward... I expect more, and this movie standing on its own, I was disappointed. It's that simple.
Wow.
I marveled at going to the movie theater, and Thor was playing right next door, and Justice League was playing in this theater, and that was amazing to me. That we're not only in an age where we have superhero movies coming out on a regular basis, but now they're pitted against each other.
Yes,
yeah.
At the same time in the movie theater, which is astounding to me.
It's like war movies, like westerns, like musicals. No, I agree with you, and that's why they got to be great. And I'm glad you bring up Thor and I know Artie hasn't seen it yet. We don't have to go into detail. Ragnarok to me blew this out of the water. Much funnier, much smarter.
I don't feel that way, Johnny.
I heard that.
Go for it.
Yeah. No,
I like Ragnarok better too.
I like the first 2 Thor movies better than I liked this one. I thought this one was a little on the hokey side. They went for too much of the laugh, and it felt out of character for me the whole time with Thor. Without giving away anything of the plot, I just felt like he was slightly out of character. There were moments of Thor from the other movies, but because of the yuck fest and I did laugh along with it. It felt more like a Guardians movie than a Thor movie.
Absolutely.
But it felt out of character for Thor, I thought.
Well, but
I think they were trying to appeal to more, like, the other Thor movies weren't. This is the best, like, critically
and financially and box office wise too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the biggest movie.
Again, going back to my barometer of my wife, she liked Justice League better than Thor.
That's cool. All I could say is Thor has always been half Norse mythology and half cosmic, space, and I love that, and especially given when it was happening, and you had that combination of mythology and sci-fi. And I think Thor works really well in that. And I think this leaned more into the sci-fi than the first two movies. And I also think because, I mean, the first movie was well received. The second movie gets mixed reactions. I know a lot of people who don't like it. I like both Thor movies. This was my favorite. And I understand the comedy didn't work for you. It worked for me. And I felt they had established Thor's character enough in the three Avenger movies. Well, no, two, because he's not in Civil War. And his own movies, that it was okay for Thor to have more fun in this movie. And I love Valkyrie. I thought, they had a very elegant solution, explained her character very well. I think, and again, a much more nuanced villain in Jeff Goldblum's portrayal of the Grandmaster or whatever that is. Grandmaster or game? Yeah, Grandmaster. Thank you. I thought Mark Ruffalo did an excellent job with Hulk and Banner. I mean, it's fun.
Weird because that Thor movie to me felt the most like a Jack Kirby comic come to life, and it's odd because at the same time in that other movie theater he had Kirby's Fourth World characters like Parademons and Steppenwolf, but they didn't feel like Kirby. They just felt like dingy, like 90s CGI guys.
Again, like 90s movies that kind of do their own thing as opposed to pay a little more attention to why it worked in the comics and try to capture that. I mean, that's why, again, Doctor Strange gets that same vibe of the comics, but did it in its own way in the movie. And this just felt too 90s. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Scoot.
I liked the Superman's costume got more colorful. I like that.
Me too.
Yeah, it was shiny. Yeah.
It wasn't all dingy again like in the other movies.
I think that's where I felt Joss Whedon.
Totally. Yeah. No question.
I would have really liked to see. I was waiting for a scene when Steppenwolf got sucked back into the mother box and have Darkseid choking him or something like you failed.
I feel like they missed it.
I wondered, and I thought he was going to be in one of the later scenes, like after credit scenes,
like Thanos at the end of the Avengers movie. And
I'm wondering if there was any Darkseid stuff that Josh or Zack Snyder made. I would like to see all the footage he made.
I kind of suspect there was.
And I wonder if when they release it, if they'll release an alternate director cut.
They said they're not going to because Snyder never finished
Just like we never saw the 40 minutes that is missing from Age of Ultron that Whedon made. Then, Marvel is yet to release that.
Well, then it would mess up their story. That's why.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was waiting for that Darkseid scene too, Art. I was like, Steppenwolf they didn't kill Steppenwolf. That means Darkseid's going to blast him with his Omega beams.
Yeah, because they did unite all three cubes. Remember? He had them all, and I thought Darkseid was going to show up, or we were going to see him
his face
about to enter the portal or whatever. Yeah, I thought that was going to happen, and the movie. What I wanted with Superman kind of happened, but I wanted him to be mad, and beat up the Justice League, and then beat up Darkseid, and then take off. But
I thought that Superman Flash after credit scene was the perfect after credit scene for a superhero movie. It was the best. It was awesome because
one of the best scenes in the movie.
It didn't feel like it was a fun thing to have in the credits. It was perfect.
It was like the cartoons. It was just like Bruce Timm's cartoon.
And his costume was all bright and everything.
And that's another thing that I think was missing was more chemistry between all the heroes. And again, as you said earlier, Artie, they're rushing all this. That's what.
Well, it feels a little bit like catch up, but not so much where it ruins it.
Well, too much for me, unfortunately. That's where I disagree, and it's fine. But
and I thought they had chemistry too. I liked the whole argument scene of Bruce wanting to resurrect Superman, and I love that scene how they were all arguing and disagreeing.
Well, that's
one of the big things about that scene that really bothered me. Aquaman was wearing a coat the whole time.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
The guy swims in the frozen waters of the North Pacific. In the Batcave, he's got a wool coat on, and
that's another thing. And Scoot pointed it out is how when they go to the Batcave and the Flash is like, wow, it's like a Batcave, and then they actually show them in their workrooms. It's like this looks nothing like a Batcave. This looks like
it didn't look like the same place.
It looked like you were in the middle of a hospital or something like that, or a science lab.
It's not even a cave. Yeah,
the other movie had a cool cave in it. The Batman Superman cave was awesome.
And I'm guessing that's because again these were probably reshot scenes, and although they allowed Whedon to do what he needed to do, I'm sure that the budget was being looked at very carefully. And all right, we don't need just give us a room and we'll redo it.
Well, that can be easily explained too, because Bruce Wayne
shouldn't have to.
He just met all these guys.
That's simple, dude. You shouldn't have to.
No, but he just met all these. Why is he going to put him in the premium Batcave? He put him in the secondary Batcave.
I understand.
Well, he had his stabbing cabin off in the woods.
It's my same argument about Star Trek Discovery, where it's like, well, that can be explained by, and it's like, no. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to jump on you and be a douche, but I guess I was. It's true. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't buy that. It should just be there for you. And again, Yvette's a great barometer, your wife, in terms of seeing.
Don't you talk about my wife being a barometer?
Well, they never really showed Wayne Manor. They showed Bruce off in his stabbing cabin in the woods. That's where the Batcave was, underwater over there.
No, you're right. It could be like Wayne Enterprises' little Batcave underneath, like where, of course, Morgan Freeman is waiting. Hello, Mr. Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me
and that's
to look
where
at
he
the
was.
city?
Yeah, because that's where they took off from. That lake opened up. And
because I never saw the Batcave with tile floor. Right. He had tiles and he had contractors work down there.
That was the guest Batcave. It wasn't.
Wasn't the premium one with Robin's suit and stuff, and the dinosaur and the big coin.
When there are visiting heroes, guest stay at Batman's auxiliary Batcave, located on the shores of Bruce Wayne's stabbing cabin.
You know what would have been awesome, too, just a little thing, if you see, like, Ace the Bat Hound, just a dog. That would have been cool. Like, he would have fit well on that scene where they were on the plane. I think they were on a plane, or he's talking about, when he talked about the penguins. And it would have been cool if a dog came up and Alfred just pet the dog.
Yeah, it would have been cool if he's sitting next to Alfred while Alfred was talking to them on the radio.
That would have been cool.
As Alfred.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Missing scene. Oh, hello. I didn't expect you to come here. Remember that from the previous?
Yeah, there was a lot of
what happened with that scene?
I don't know. And the thing I didn't like, too, is the trailers ruin a lot of the scenes.
Artie?
They showed too much in the trailers.
Because, again, Batman and the Flash meeting, everything in the trailer was in the movie and nothing more. Thank you for nothing.
Yeah, there was a lot of spoiled scenes in the trailers.
Very disappointing.
Well, nerds to you, Johnny, because I didn't see that trailer.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, same with the Batman v Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like that was like one of the first scenes, and it's totally like I said, it's totally them copying Civil War when Tony Stark meets Peter Parker. Except no hot dance.
Yeah. I
think you're reaching there a little.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, I didn't see any comparison at all to the Marvel ones. I really didn't.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess. All right. I'm going to stand by my statement, and I think a lot more people probably saw both the Batman Barry Allen introduction and the Tony Stark Peter Parker introduction. They look pretty similar.
I wasn't looking.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, they were similar.
Thank you. So I'm not crazy.
Who asked you to come, Scoot?
Exactly. Don't you have to go, Scoot?
Because I know people ask me right away.
Yeah, to go to the bathroom.
Because people were asking right away, did you like it more than the Avengers? And I said, yeah, it was just as good.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't go that far either.
Yeah.
Sorry. No.
But I just did, though.
I know you did. It's okay.
You can't take it back.
You're gonna have to walk that back. Sorry.
No, I can't. I do.
Come on, Sarah. How can we walk that back?
Exactly.
You know what? I listened to Kevin Smith's review, and he had a good point too. Like, what would have been awesome? Like, I like the end, the best part too. Like Johnny was saying, the third act. But like, why couldn't they have been close to like water? So then Aquaman could have done some cool stuff with like fish, getting some parademons and stuff. He's just like didn't do anything in the water the whole movie.
He did cool water stuff.
This
one time,
he like speared those three parademons with his trident, and then rode them like a surfboard through that building.
Mm-hmm. He fought Steppenwolf in the Atlantis too.
Oh come on, Mira! That was freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mira.
Johnny, remember the Mira scene,
Yeah,
Johnny?
that's the best scene.
What if Gavin McLeod was down there in Atlantis?
Hi, Mira. Say, welcome to Atlantis. I'm Murray Slaughter. I live here.
Man, I really liked this movie.
I pick up after Arthur.
It was so good.
Mira.
I liked it.
I'm so glad it exists.
Again, I understand that, but I wanted more. And again, I just feel like the movies. You know, I'm doing watching the stocks go up when you look at a financial gauge of where the economy goes. I want I swore. I want stuff to go up. I want the trajectory to be better stories, deeper characterization. I liked Aquaman.
Yeah, but it's a superhero movie.
Well, but we're getting that in other superhero movies already. It's
the movie
not a
did
good
something
excuse.
for me that
and I'm sorry. That's horrible. You should totally want every kind of super movie, both simple movies and complex movies. And I think we're getting more. And I just want that to happen for DC. And instead, they right now they can't even. Again, they simplified this movie for me, and I think it was too simple.
It was real good.
I think this movie did for me what I didn't think anything could do, was make the last two movies better. The Batman, Superman, and the Super. Because I was okay with Superman. I had a lot of problems with Batman, Superman. And then watching this movie made Batman, Superman better for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see this movie again, but I don't have any desire to watch those other ones. I just want to watch this one.
Well, I even caught myself rewatching Batman, Superman after Justice League, just like Artie said, because it's been on HBO.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and even actually Man of Steel, because that's been on FX. So, my God. And it's so, I got to tell you, if I could be Bob Hope for a second, as someone who has to, on my job, work overnights, and, I'm only working every 10 minutes for 90 seconds when I'm broadcasting the traffic. And, so we got TVs on. It is such a pleasure. There, almost every night there's a superhero movie on. Between the cable channels, both the premium channels and the basic cable channels and stuff. Man, everything. All the X-Men movies, all the Marvel movies up to this point. The DC Man of Steel's on FX. The Nolan movies are constantly on all the Turner channels, TNT and TBS.
Those are good.
Oh my God! So hey, look, there's Winter Soldier. Let me watch 10 minutes of that. And even the ones I don't like as much, like Superman Returns or Man of Steel or Batman, Superman, and everything, I'll still watch a few minutes of them and stuff. And that's the thing. It's awesome that this is happening right now.
Being our age and growing up the way we did, Scoot grew up 5 years ago.
Right. Well, in seventh grade.
But us growing up the way we did and dealing with cartoons far and few between when they came out, hardly any live action stuff. There was Spider-Man and Hulk,
Marvel,
Captain America.
The Marvel 70s.
They were good.
Movies, yeah,
but they were all far and few between. Yeah. I remember when Roger Corman's
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four was announced and then released and canned after a day of release, and never getting to see it, and then hunting down a bootleg copy just to see it, or Captain America. We were just so starved for any of that stuff, and for all of this stuff to be happening now is just this is so cool. You could turn on TV and just play it anytime you want. It's
you can
awesome.
go watch Superman tell the Flash what to do.
And again,
one person.
And again,
that's so good.
It's funny. I talked to Ed Piskor today. Ed is the Pittsburgh cartoonist.
Did you say that on the pod?
Yeah, I just did. He's a good guy. He made Hip Hop Family Tree, which is the history of hip hop music in comic book form. It's fantastic. He's doing an X-Men history for Marvel, and it debuts December 20th. And we were talking about how I asked him, I said, where are you in the hip-hop history? And he said 1985. And he goes, it's a really important cultural year for hip-hop because there were 5 very influential movies. And the Breaking movies were part of it, and I can't remember the other titles. And he said, it's kind of like the superhero movies today in that they are introducing mainstream audiences to the superhero culture, and the mainstream audience, just like the way hip-hop took over music, is loving it. And I'm like, you're right. All these movies are like the surf movies from the 60s where, they were goofy and they were dumb, but in the middle of them, like Dick Dale, the guy who does that great, the Pulp Fiction theme, are
you allowed to say that on the pod?
He's amazing in that. And little Stevie Wonder is 14 or 15 and singing Fingertips in one of the Frankie and Annette movies and stuff. And that's awesome. And that's really what's happening right now with the superhero movies, in that it's making a mainstream. I mean, you guys know it, and we all know it, and the listeners know it too. But it is. I mean, you got to step back and say, wow, the mainstream culture is loving this stuff. And that's incredible that that's happening right now.
That's why you got to raise the bar, though.
Amen, Scoot. Well said.
The bars are raised.
They're
the
best in the business.
They're all good movies, though.
They're not.
Listen, if you made these 10 years ago, they wouldn't be this good. They're as good as they could be right now.
That should be, the best.
Yes.
These other movies are coming out, like Coco, and these movies are already beaten at the box office. Justice League should be the movie people just can't get enough of, like Avengers.
And guys, you can't deny it is underperforming. But
it is good.
It's not. Well,
I don't
maybe it just needs some Viagra, Johnny.
I don't think so. And again,
it is good.
Well, again, Artie, it's kind of a divided audience. Half say yes.
But I don't understand what people are. I don't understand what people are watching that's getting them so upset. I don't understand.
I won't even say upset. It's just disappointing. And again, it's the fifth movie, and it's like, all right, you guys should be doing better than this. And I'm sorry, Artie, I disagree.
Good, though.
They're not. When you said these movies wouldn't have been made like this 10 years ago, I think these look like 90s movies. I'm sorry, I completely disagree. It
wasn't 90s 10 years ago.
It was
2007.
So,
they're just good, man. If this movie came out in the 90s, we'd all be freaking out how much better it looked than the stuff
I can literally name a dozen other superhero movies that are better than this movie.
Nah.
Easily.
Can't. No,
all three Captain America
easy.
movies.
12.
All three.
I would say go with it.
You want me to do 12? Fine. All three Captain America movies.
Yeah, let's do it.
The first Avenger movie is 4. Iron Man 1 and 3. That's 6. Doctor Strange.
Number 3 sucked.
I disagree with you.
Take away
Ant-Man.
3. Give you 1. Doctor Strange was good, not better.
Good, not better.
No.
Yeah, Doctor Strange entertained, but I wasn't blown away.
I already said the first Avengers movies. I'm at 8.
That's good.
Deadpool is 9.
It's good. Yep.
Spider-Man Homecoming
is 10.
No.
All right.
Have I missed any? What did I say?
Wonder Woman.
I would say the Raimi Spider-Man
first Thor movie and Ragnarok.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
And the third one, and also all right, fine. But I was sticking to.
Ant-Man
if you noticed, I was sticking to from Iron Man on. So no, I'm sorry, I could think of
Dark Knight.
But I wouldn't say better. I would say equal to.
I would say better. I'm sticking with and that's fine. I'm only giving my own opinion. I can only give my own opinion.
It's like saying what's better, Empire or Star Wars.
You don't like me, period, Franco.
Oh no, I love you, Johnny, but I don't like your opinion.
No, I was hoping for an argument. This is good. I like it.
The new Avengers trailer is coming out tomorrow. I've read that it's going to break the internet.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh yeah, the
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Might as well just add that to the list now, Johnny, right?
No, again, I was able to. I came up with 12.
Good.
I came up with 12 pretty fast. Thank you.
It's kind of weird. I don't know why, but it's weird how DC movies are so scrutinized and analyzed so deeply, intently.
Why do you think that is?
They brought that on themselves, Artie.
Yeah, I think Green Lantern started it.
I agree.
But
the Dark Knight movies were well received by critics and fans.
Yes, they were.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. You can't. And I'm not saying you guys are saying this, but that's the thing. It's like it's not. Well, you obviously hate DC movies, really? Well, I love the Dark Knight movies. Those were incredible and deserving of Academy Award, wins and consideration. They're great movies. These ones aren't.
See, I liked it a lot. I'm trying to understand why people hate. Why they don't like it? Like, what's the problem with them?
No, just explain it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm kind of on Artie's side about the hate for this movie. I don't get it. I don't
understand.
I don't get the hate for it. But I do understand being a little bit disappointed by it because
it's kind of like somebody.
It should be the greatest thing
ever.
It's
the 5th movie, guys.
But it's kind of like somebody saying, "I hate Charlie Brown Christmas."
No, it isn't.
No, it is because in your heart. Okay, no, listen, because that's great,
down.
right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Now, if somebody tells you it sucks and that they hate it, you're going to be confused. Why? Like, why do you hate it? What's so bad
That's not
about
a fair
it?
comparison because Charlie Brown Christmas.
No, it is.
Hold on, I'll explain why I disagree. Yes, you clearly think it is.
Okay.
I disagree because Charlie Brown Christmas was the first Peanuts cartoon. I can see if you want to go to, and I don't even know, hey, get off my lawn, it's Memorial Day, Charlie Brown, and say that one sucks compared to.
Did they make that one?
Because the first Charlie Brown Christmas is a great movie. In a lot of ways, it's like Iron Man, or if you want to make a team movie, like the Avengers movie. because and I wouldn't know. I'd say more Iron Man because again, it was their first exposure as a cartoon. This is the 5th movie in the current DC continuity, and they've had mixed reactions to Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, Batman vs. Superman, and now this one. The only one that seems to have been universally praised was Wonder Woman, and I'm sorry, I think, given that Zack Snyder's fingerprints are on all of these other movies and stuff, people were mad. And they were mad after Batman Superman, and they sent the press junket out to London when they're shooting Justice League, and they're like, we hear you. We know. We understand. You want more humor in these movies. You want your heroes to be more heroic. Well, I would say from a very basic standpoint, yes, that is what they did. But compared to the Marvel movies, I'm not seeing improvements fast enough in the same way that with the Marvel movies you are. I think they've only gotten better. I think by the time they got to Avengers, movies were better than the first Iron Man movie, and certainly better than maybe the first Thor movie. And by Guardians of the Galaxy, that was better than a lot of the movies that preceded that. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing progression. All I'm seeing from DC is a rush to get to this point where you kind of know these characters, and they're getting sloppy. And again, this was a tough movie to fix.
You just don't like DC. Let's talk about the TV show.
What I'm saying, what my comparison was to Charlie Brown Christmas is not the comparison of the movie being better, but the comparison of that Charlie Brown Christmas is awesome. Right. It's the best thing ever. There's no opinion in your body that that you would ever say it's bad.
Best Christmas special out there. Go on.
Right. But when somebody comes up to you and says, it's awful, doesn't it confuse you? Why? Like, what do you see in that that's so awful? And I'm not comparing it to Justice League, but if somebody told you Charlie Brown Christmas is horrible, sucks,
then I don't understand
stupid,
the comparison. If you're not comparing it to Justice League, I don't understand.
Well, no, he's not comparing it. He's not comparing it. He's just comparing.
Somebody having that reaction to Justice League is like somebody having that reaction to Charlie Brown Christmas, right?
No. I'm comparing the feeling. Okay, you know that Charlie Brown Christmas is great, right? Now, forget all these movies. Just what if somebody came up to you and said, Charlie Brown Christmas is horrible, the story's bad, the characters don't interact the right way, the tree is awful, Linus can't, his blanket sucks, and then you're like, what? Like, how do you, like, that's where I'm getting, I don't understand why people hate it. And, like, if somebody told you that Charlie Brown Christmas sucks, you wouldn't understand why they hate it. And even if you hear all the explanations, I'm like, I still don't get why you hate it. Like, you could just enjoy the movie, and it's superheroes, it's Batman, it's all these characters. And like Charlie Brown Christmas, he does all these awesome things, and you really enjoy it, and you cry, and you do this, and then someone says, that sucked.
Well, it sounds like, and if I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, it sounds like I should just like Justice League because it handled the basics. It got the team together. Superman. No. Well, then I don't know what to tell you.
I'm saying that I don't understand. I'm saying I'm trying to understand.
Take away
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Take away Justice League. No, take away Justice League altogether. He's saying you see something that you like, you understand, like the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah.
Or anything else in its place. Something that you like, Johnny, and then someone comes up to you and tells you, no, everything about it was bad. You're hard pressed to understand,
I guess,
why that person thinks.
I guess, and you're describing how you guys feel about this movie, and
like if someone tells you Barney Miller sucks,
and I do like Barney Miller. You're right. Well, and again, like, why would you... I don't know what to tell you guys. All I can say is, truly, I don't, because I am judging this movie on its own. And also the fact that it's their 5th attempt to make a universally loved movie, and you would think it would be a no-brainer because people do know these characters. And I just think it was. I don't think it was as good as it should have been, and it's disappointing.
See, but I think that's what you're hung up on.
Probably.
I think it's not as good as you think it should have been, and I think that's what a lot of people get hung up on.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I want a story that makes sense. I felt, again, Superman's resurrection happened too quickly.
Made sense.
Well, for me, it happened too quickly.
But it made sense. but it made sense.
Yeah, bad guy wants to destroy the world.
And again, it was just too. Well,
but why though? Why do you want to destroy
it? Was too simple. Well, and again, for Darkseid, again, they didn't address what the higher meaning of for Darkseid meant. To me, the MacGuffins were the problem, which was making sure that Steppenwolf doesn't get the mother boxes, and that's fine. It was a pretty simple bad guy plot, and that's okay. But then you would think that would leave more time for deeper understanding of the characters, like the things that I've listed. Again, I think they should have spent more time with Cyborg.
Why can't they do that in the next movie?
Because again, I think that's kind of putting the cart before the horse. I think you should have started with the individual movies and then do the team movie. But DC's in a hurry.
Well, I agree with you on that too, but they didn't.
Well, they didn't.
So and why can't they do that in the next movie?
Well, Franco, they made that choice and made this movie. And I felt disappointed by that choice and by the way they executed the storytelling and the characterization. It's that basic. And from that standpoint, if somebody doesn't like Barney Miller, for example, let's have something more mundane than like a Charlie Brown Christmas. And be like, yeah, I don't get it. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. And again, I accept the fact that half the audience really did like Justice League and was very pleased and excited and loved the way that it was executed and very happy with the whole movie. And everyone's saying, hey, man, it made me feel good, and this is awesome that we've got Justice League.
Yeah, it was.
And again, I think he did succeed in terms of setting the table for the next movie. And I'm excited for the Justice League, the next Justice League movie, if it's Legion of Doom and everybody's involved. That's awesome. Or even if it's just Luthor and Deathstroke, that's awesome. But
and Joker.
But again, and I guess maybe.
But you don't sound like it's going to be awesome.
No, I'm focused on this specific movie, just like you would be in a middle movie of like Back to the Future 2
or Empire Strikes Back.
I like those movies.
Back to the Future 2.
Sorry, that's it. I mean, it's that basic.
See,
but I disagree with you, and I'll tell you why. Sure. Because this movie, unlike Back to the Future 2, or what was the other one you named?
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back, okay? Here's my argument. Back to the Future 2 and Empire Strikes Back could not exist without the movies that came before them. This movie, you come into it, it can exist without having seen anything else, and it works.
Really?
Whereas
so in other words, it's a given that you're walking into this movie and Superman is dead?
But that's what I'm saying. You have to have a suspension of disbelief.
I don't think that movie stands on its own without Batman versus Superman. I'm sorry.
There's a spaceship in the middle of the city.
Yeah, and there's that too.
I think it does. If you go into this and you're like in a world where Superman is dead, where they established that, this works as a standalone movie where Empire and Back to the Future don't.
They used, as Scoot was saying, Zod's spaceship to resurrect Superman. You don't know what the hell's going on unless you saw Batman versus Superman. You need pieces
because
you don't know.
It was directly linked to the Wonder Woman movie too.
You might know of the existence of Superman, but if you haven't seen Batman versus Superman, why did Superman die? How did he die? What happened to him? Why are all these heroes running around like this? I'm sorry, it didn't explain it well enough.
It directly linked to the Wonder Woman movie too.
Well, there you go. And again, that's why it doesn't stand on its own, and that it makes it.
I think you're wrong.
Well, sure you do, and that's fine. I'm explaining why I disagree with it.
It was really good, and I'm just like the only thing like that's what like I respect everyone.
Sure.
People hate it, but I'm trying to understand why. Like, what is?
Go back and listen to the pod.
Yeah, I know, but like
I help you, man.
Like I don't know, it's just good.
I didn't hate it. I just had. There's certain things I wanted more. I wanted more explanation for things. All the Aquaman stuff I wish was in there. They're like, well, we'll save it for Aquaman movie. Well, then you should have just saved him for the movie because I don't understand after they got that box why he was there. He was cool. I liked him. It could have just been
Superman, or rather Wonder Woman, Batman, and Cyborg going after.
Yeah, but it's just like the cartoon.
When Superman showed up, they should have just told everyone to leave because he beat up Steppenwolf real easy.
That's true too.
They needed.
That's true too. By the way,
that's what I mean. They needed him.
The league was useless other than
I think you guys are bringing. I think you guys are bringing too much of your backstory in comics to this movie, which is why you're having problems with it.
It was awesome. It was really good. It was like playing with action figures.
Did Yvette see?
It was like reading the Superpowers comic. It was just good.
Did Yvette see Batman versus Superman? By the way,
yes.
Did she see Man of Steel?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So she's informed. I mean, she knows the backstory. She saw Wonder Woman
of these movies, but nothing else.
Well, but that's all you needed. Because again, that's
you have all the comics backstory, and you don't like it. She doesn't, and she did.
Well, but she saw it. It was told to her. Yeah. She saw the story. And that's what I'm saying.
So
this movie, again, I'm judging this movie on its own merits. That's why I give it the lower grades. Getting to the next Justice League movie, yeah, he cleaned the table. That's fine, and that's great. Superman's normal again. The team is set. We've been introduced to their characters. I wanted a little more depth. I wanted a little more complicated Superman resurrection. And also the other thing that we haven't mentioned, Scoot and I were talking about, I missed like 1 out of 5 lines from Batman. Here, I missed 1 out of 5 lines from Steppenwolf. And Aquaman.
I got it all.
All 3 of them.
You know what I'm going to say in response to this, Johnny, is I've been to restaurants with you. That's all I'm going to say.
I got
hear that I'm deaf.
It's a nice choice.
that he cleaned the table, but
but I see.
We know what
that you've seen me eat with my hands. It's not pretty.
Man, I want to go again and see this.
Me too.
I do too.
Me too.
I do too. I want to.
It's just really good.
Me too. I mean,
we should go to like an Alamo so we can eat while we're watching.
That's a good idea. Yeah. They don't have any Alamos in Chicago, which stuns me. I don't get it. I would be all over that.
You don't get?
I want to host a Fred Williamson movie retrospective, and do it at an Alamo Draft House kind of setting. But we don't have a theater like that around here. Crap!
I don't know what that is.
Explain it to me.
Man, was it good?
Where they serve alcohol and you can eat while you watch.
Yeah, they show cult movies. They'll show
like Movie Co. kind of.
Yeah, it's like Movie Co. But it's even more like sometimes they'll even do more special presentations of. Hey, let's fly in the cast of Back to the Future and watch, the movies.
I really like Aquaman, too. When he took off his shirt and he had the orange sweater on.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's the one time he had orange sweater green pants.
True.
Yeah, I liked him, too. I thought he was cool. I just didn't
don't
know
understand why he was wearing the wool coat in the Batcave, though. I don't understand that. And that was underwater. He should have been fine.
Yeah,
the lasso was really good too.
That was very funny.
Yeah,
that was very, very funny. Yep.
It was good, man. I like it better than Wonder Woman, even.
I didn't like when Batman was smiling at the end, though.
That didn't bother
me. Was he smiling at the end?
Yeah, when Superman showed up, they cut to him and he's smiling, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
I feel bad for Affleck because I have a feeling that he's not going to be around anymore for these movies because I think he's done. He's clearly disappointed.
I think the pressure of I think he reads the internet. I think he goes on the internet, and that's where everything is.
Batman.
Like I really enjoy reading bad reviews before I see the movie because I don't enjoy it, but it benefits me because then I really enjoy the movie. And it happened with all the Wolverine movies. It happened with all the X-Men movies, and not the early X-Men, but like the Apocalypse one and the other one with X-Men 3 is where it started. But when I read the bad reviews, I really enjoy the movie so much more. And maybe that's what happened with Justice League. And that's what happened with Wonder Woman, where people are saying it was awesome and excellent. Oh, you got to see it. Why didn't you see it? And I saw it, and it was just a movie to me. I'm like, all right, I get it. I saw it. I saw the formula play out in front of me.
I don't understand how the four
But I enjoyed it, though.
How the four of us could be... I don't understand how the four of us could be sitting here, and I so vehemently disagree with each one of you on separate things.
Yeah.
1, 2.
I'm like, I disagree with you about Wonder Woman. I love that movie. I disagree with Johnny about Justice League, and Scoot, like, we have different bathroom preferences.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Is he really gone?
No.
All right.
Were you sleeping, John?
I enjoy Wonder Woman. But I didn't think it was better than Justice League.
Well, I was going to ask, and we can keep going if you want to continue to debate the movie, but to close the debate if you want. Of the 2017 superhero movies, Spider-Man Homecoming, Justice League, I'll even throw Power Rangers in there, Logan, Wonder Woman, Ragnarok.
Ooh,
Logan. Is that it? And then maybe the Lego Batman movie. I don't know if you want to count that or you just want to do live action.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet.
Lego Batman was cool.
So
I haven't seen it yet.
It was fun.
Where is Justice League on that list? Is it near the top? Is it the best movie of 2017? Is it You like, and I rattled off some titles. So do you need them again?
What are the choices again?
Spider-Man: Homecoming, Justice League. Okay. Do you want to count Power Rangers? Live-action heroes, technically.
No, we can.
I put it at the bottom right away. Logan.
I only seen 3 of those.
Wolverine movie, Wonder Woman, Thor: Ragnarok. That's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies.
It always sounds like Thor Ragnarok's being told to me by Scooby-Doo. What's the title? Ragnarok.
Hey, Scoob, it's the end of the Norse mythology.
Hey, Scoob, the Kirbyverse.
It's like, hey, we got to investigate.
Yankees.
If those are my choices for 2017, yes. I would go in order from 1, 2, 3. Top 3 would be Logan, Justice League, and Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman's close with Justice League for me.
Okay, and Spider-Man's that far down?
Spider-Man would be like right after that.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I go with Justice League, Batman, Lego, and Wonder Woman. Those are only 3 I saw.
Okay, you still haven't seen Homecoming?
No, I have it on my table here.
Okay.
Along with Logan and Guardians 2 and The Apes.
Okay.
War of the Apes. I have to see that one too.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I saw that first one together in theaters. I was waiting for you guys to call me to go see that one.
See, because I've heard that the War of the Apes movie was a masterpiece.
Me too.
That's what and so I don't want that to influence me on watching it now, because I heard that Wonder Woman was a masterpiece. I enjoyed Wonder Woman.
Too.
I thought it was great, but I saw it coming every moment, you know? Sure. And so the digital guy ruined it. Like, all right, typical ending. Like, and for a while in the late 80s, early 90s, all the movies were ending where the bad guy will fall off of a tower. Like Batman, the Joker fell, and then the Crow, the guy fell. Yeah, and there's a lot of movies where the bad guy falls off a tower because the hero doesn't knock him off the tower, but he makes a mistake or cuts the rope or the brick falls. But that was always something. And now it's always the digital villain at the end blowing up. And so it's becoming what do you call it? The cliche.
Agreed.
It's becoming that. And that's what the last 3 DC movies kind of are like that. With Doomsday, Wonder Woman, and this one.
How can you say that and then say, I don't understand why people didn't like this movie? You just described a cliche, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe the cliche bothers more people than just your passing comment. You know what I mean?
But people aren't commenting on that. They're commenting on the other things of the movie.
But it worked in Justice League. And in Wonder Woman, I wasn't expecting the guy to be a digital guy at the end. I didn't think he was going to do that. And when he did, I was like, it just didn't.
Well, why wouldn't you think that? He's a god. He could become a digital guy.
He was a little old man before.
Yeah, but he would have been cool. I would have accepted it more if his helmet didn't fall off and you saw the guy with the mustache. I didn't like that because now
that was dumb.
I was like, come on. I wanted him to be Ares, the guy. The digital effects should have been better.
Yeah, I was waiting for Harry Potter to come in and save that guy.
Yeah, and the digital effects should have been better in Justice League for the villain. And I wished in the villain in Justice League that they actually had an actor for the face.
Agreed.
That would have been cool.
Agreed.
And they could have done something like Lord of the Rings style with the guy. So that's why I gave it an A- because of the digital effects. Okay. But once he showed a guy, it goes away. But the cliche wasn't there too much because he was digital through the whole thing. Like, in the early Marvel movies with Iron Man and the Hulk, the villain was always the same as the hero. But
you're right.
Iron Man 1, he fought a bad guy who had armor.
Yeah.
Black Panther.
Yeah, and then Hulk fought the Abomination. Right. And then even Yellow Jacket fought Ant-Man.
Totally.
They're the same.
100%.
And
we're doing that with Black Panther now, too.
Yeah, I don't always like that.
I agree with you. No, that's a legitimate flaw in the Marvel movies. I agree with that.
Yeah, and Spider-Man is always cool because his guys never matched him. They were always opposite.
Like Batman,
Same
too.
with that other movie had just had, Red Skull and Captain America was cool because they're opposite. He's not the same powers. Or,
Actually, wasn't
so
he?
that always bothered me.
Didn't he mutate because of the soldier formula?
Oh, yeah, he was frozen too, right?
No, but didn't he also mutate from the formula? From the super soldier formula?
Too.
That's still my favorite Marvel movie, the Captain America one.
I love that movie. For me, it's Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's the best.
Winter Soldier's the best, hands down the best of the Marvel movies for me.
I like Guardians of the Galaxy.
And I love that. What about
Guardians
2017 movies? What did you think of that list? What's your list?
Oh, I would do Logan, Thor, and Spidey, and then Wonder Woman, and then Justice League, and then
I agree.
Batman.
I agree, and I would say it's a tie
Logan.
between, like, I think Logan, then Ragnarok, and then I would give Wonder Woman equal footing to Spider-Man, then Justice League.
Nah, Spidey was better.
That's fine. I think they both were really excellent and very strong in specific ways. I think you can't deny.
Artie's making me hate Wonder Woman.
You can't deny how great Michael Keaton was as the Vulture.
He's convincing.
Michael Keaton, hands down, was the best villain this year.
He was the best villain of the summer. Yeah.
Well, and even of the year.
Yeah, he was really good
the whole year.
Yeah.
Man, I got to see that one. And Logan's
awesome.
Making your list. I got to see
Logan's
Logan.
Incredible, Artie.
Logan's like Breaking
Logan's
Bad.
on the top of all our lists. What's up with
because
that?
I have it in my tray here, my DVD multi-recorder tray, ready to be pressed in there. It's in my computer.
No, but I'm saying, why are we all agreeing on the movie?
Because it's excellent.
What's up with that?
Because it was really, really excellent, and especially coming off of the slight misfires of Wolverine Origins and the second movie, they had their flaws. Logan was perfect. Logan was excellent.
Okay, now let me ask you this question.
Here's something.
I don't know how to word this, but with the previous Wolverine movies, would you feel the same about this movie without those or with those? You know what I mean? Did you need the backstory for this or not? Because I feel like
I think you did need an explanation.
So good is you didn't need the backstory.
You could, because it really was in a lot of ways an update of Lone Wolf and Cub. Once Wolverine is there with the girl and stuff like that and protecting the girl. I do think that all the movies since the first X-Men movie are part of a story, and certainly they have. That's the thing, where the Wolverine solo movies failed, enough of the team movies have been great that you got Wolverine's full story without Origins or the second Wolverine movie, and you would have been fine blowing those two movies off and going right to Logan, having only seen, Days of Future Past and the first three X-Men movies. But that's me.
But I'm saying coming in...
Would it stand on its own? No, as I said, I think to really understand and appreciate... part of me says yes, because it's kind of an update of Lone Wolf and Cub, but I think it does absolutely owe itself to having seen, at the very least, the X-Men movies prior to seeing Logan.
Yeah, I didn't like the music in Justice League.
I love that they put the Batman music and the Superman music in there.
I like that, but I didn't. There's no Justice League theme. What was the Justice League theme?
I have no idea.
They have one.
Come together.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was.
Right
it doesn't
now.
count.
That's right.
Yeah, it does.
Here come on,
it's the Beatles of the movies.
Eyeballs he got.
Man, I really like that movie, man.
Avengers had a good theme song.
Avengers was good too. I like the
Avengers.
Yeah, I like the first Avengers.
Sure.
I like them all. I just like all the movies. There's
hope
not
they
that
keep
many
making
that
more.
I don't like, huh?
I hope they keep making more of them.
Yeah, I want to see more. If they keep getting better and they find their flaws and Ben Affleck's on the internet, they're going to find out what to do the right way.
I agree with what you said. If they keep getting better, if they find their flaws, this being the 50th movie, don't think they quite got there.
Well, they'll get there.
I think they did. I think that's the fundamental difference.
You know what the fundamental difference of you and I are? Shoe sizes. Thank you.
Oh!
Yeah, and that means bigger everything. Bigger socks, bigger brains, everything.
Bigger inseam.
And bigger.
I like it.
Is that a shoe size, John?
Could be. There you go. We rambled on for about another hour or so, and there was actually about 15 or so minutes before we got into our Justice League talk. So if you're interested in the whole interview, go to awyeah.libsyn.com or search on your podcast, apps on your phones for the Aw Yeah podcast with Art and Franco. It's the most recent episode number 140, and you can enjoy the expanded episode there, as well as what you got on today's Word Balloon. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, brought to you by the League of Word Balloon listeners. Thank you, League, for your support. If you'd like to subscribe to Word Balloon via Patreon, do you think what I give you each month is worth the price of a comic book? If so, go to patreon.com/wordballoon. That's where my homepage is, and you can make a monthly donation. Thank you very much for your support, League of Word Balloon listeners. Word Balloon also brought to you by InStock Trades at InStockTrades.com. Let's look up Justice League and see what comes up as far as trades that you'll find at great prices at InStockTrades.com. Don't forget your orders of $50 or more, you'll get free shipping. You can get Justice League United. You know, this is a great little new 52 series that Jeff Lemire was doing with Mike McCone. You can get Volume 1, Justice League Canada, for 50% off. It's just $12.49. You can get Justice League of America Rebirth. This collects Justice League of America, the Atom Rebirth, and Justice League of America Vixen, and a whole lot more individual stories. But this hardcover is 45% off, $9.24. You can reach back for some classic Justice League stuff from the great Dwayne McDuffie. Man, we blew it with Dwayne McDuffie in comics and Justice League. What a great writer for so many of the animated series episodes and Static Shock and so much of the great work. But this is one of the exceptions because it really is two great teams. It's the Justice League versus the Icon Heroes universe when worlds collide. And this collects Justice League of America 27, 28, and then 30 through 34. It's Dwayne McDuffie, Shane Davis, Sandra Hope, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, and a lot more. Good stuff, man. 45% off. It's just $8.24. How about Justice League of America, The Road to Rebirth, featuring such writers as Steve Orlando and Jody Hauser. They're both awesome. Yvonne Hayes and others on the art. Joe Prado, two of our guys on Word Balloon. Among the artists here, who else? Andy McDonald, Steve Byrne, Jamal Campbell. Justice League of America Rebirth, Justice League of America Killer Frost #1, The Ray #1, The Atom #1, and Vixen #1. All there for you. 50% off, $7.49. There's also Justice League International Omnibus. The famous team of Giffen, DeMatteis, and McGuire, all doing some incredible stuff here. Justice League 1 through 6, Justice League International 7 through 25, Justice League America 26 through 46, Justice League Europe 1 through 21, Suicide Squad 13, Justice League International Annuals 1 through 3, JLA Annual number 4, and JLE Europe Annual number 1, and more. Damn. 1,080 pages, 45% off, $54.99 at InStockTrades.com. Some of the great Justice League product you can get there. Stick to the comics until they get their shit together with the movies. And stick to InStockTrades.com for the place to go to get great books and great prices. InStockTrades.com. Thanks for listening to today's Word Balloon. Another episode is coming later in the week. We're going to have a fun December. I just had a birthday and was, like I always say, and I mean it, man, online, I feel like George Bailey. Listeners, friends, comic creators that I absolutely admire. My God, among them, Walt Simonson, Howard Chaykin, Chuck Dixon. I mean, these are the big guys, man. And they're all like, hey, John, happy birthday. Are you kidding me? David Lloyd, happy birthday, John. Are you kidding me? I'm very lucky. And truly, thank you for listening. Thank you for legitimizing Word Balloon to the pros when you go up to them at conventions and say, hey, I heard you on Word Balloon. That was fantastic. That means a lot. That is like the greatest cred I can get when you guys and women go to your favorite creators and say, hey, I really liked your interview on Word Balloon. So that's the best way to spread the word about Word Balloon, and let your friends know, too, if they like comics and they're not listening, why you like the show. The more the merrier. So thank you very much for your support in this holiday season. I always get a little more sentimental, and I want to make sure that I thank you all for listening. So thanks a lot. Until next time, Word Balloon is a copyright feature of Shaky Productions, copyright 2017.